Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey, this is Coady Willis from Big Business, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Yeah.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Coady Willis. He's the drummer of Big Business. Big Business has released their 6th full-length album entitled The Beast You Are, which is out now via Joyful Noise Records. And we're going to be talking to Coady about this and all the other good stuff. So welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
It's going good. It's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles, nice and sunny, and we just got home from a West Coast run, so I'm happy to be here and happy to be at my house.
Beautiful sunshine out in California, and here in Kentucky they're given very severe weather and bad storms and everything. So,
oh man, sorry to hear it.
But it's good sitting out on a front porch deal. So I love sitting outside when it storms. That's just me. Let's jump right into this, good sir. How's it been working with Speakeasy PR so far with you guys?
Monica's great, really awesome. She's worked with, when we were playing with the Melvins, she would do PR for the Melvins. She might still, and she always has done an awesome job. And yeah, it's been a while since we worked together, but she's been great. She's super on top of it, and everything she's set up for us has been top notch, and it's been great.
I want to touch on that just a little bit. I think around 2014-15, you guys caught the eye of the Melvins. Let's talk about that just a little bit, if you don't care.
Well, we started playing with the Melvins in I think our first show was in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. Jared and I moved to LA in 2006 and started rehearsing and recording with those guys. And so I think our first tour was either late 2007 or early 2008. So that's when we started playing with those guys.
This album, The Beast You Are, is this, you would say, your most personal album yet?
I don't know. It's one of my favorite for sure. I mean, they're all kind of personal, and they're all kind of it's definitely they're whatever markers of where we were personally and musically at the time we made the record. So it's definitely a good indication of where we're at right now, if that makes any sense. But I don't think we put any more of ourselves, or I'd rather say we put just as much of ourselves into this one as we did the rest of them. So yeah, they all feel a little personal to me.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making the new album, if anything, Coady? What sticks out for you possibly?
Being back to our two-piece lineup, I guess the journey we went on to get back to where we are right now, we tried a lot of different stuff, and coming back to this lineup, we felt a lot more comfortable in this scenario than we ever have been before. Like when we first started, we never really set out to be a two-piece band. That's who we had at the beginning. Like that's how we started writing songs. And it kind of took us a roundabout way to get back to where we are, where we figured that this is the best scenario for us. Like this is the best configuration. And I feel like we have a lot more tools at our disposal than we did when we first started in terms of what we know our strengths are and what we can do, and literally like tools like Jared has been using this looper pedal for his vocals that, he does live loops. So he's making them live, playing them live, and we play to them. So it's all like very in the moment and improvisational, and there's just more elements than we had when we first started out. So it's a little more exciting in that respect, like a little bit more to work with, and we kind of know what we're going for a lot more than we did when we first started, where we were just kind of like anything goes, and we were just not sure of what it was we could do,
That was going to be my next question about the duo coming back together and just you two as a duo. I mean, it's just more comfortable for you guys.
Yeah, I think when Jared and I first started the band, that's kind of how we learned how to write songs together, was just the two of us. And I think it just coming back to that, it just kind of felt natural, like, and it felt comfortable. And like I said, I felt like in that configuration, in that situation, we had kind of had more to work with than we've ever had before. And it was exciting to write the songs and to demo them out, record them, and incorporate all these different elements that we didn't used to have when we first were a two-piece. So having the two people in the band, it kind of allows each individual ingredient to be bigger and more expanded. So instead of like trying to like shoehorn all these different elements into one thing and make a space for everything to fit, it's more like filling out all the space with the ingredients we do have. So it's kind of fun to let certain elements be bigger and more expansive.
Any song standing out more to you right now than any, if possible, on this new album? I know it must change every time you listen to it. I know you guys are close to these songs, but do you have any that stick out for you possibly?
Yeah, right now I really like The More You Know is one of my favorites on the record. I really like Time and Heat. That's a really fun one to play live. The first one, Abdominal Snowman, I really like. I'm excited to play that one live. And I like them all. I like the I think it's a really like cohesive album, and has a lot of different elements to it and a lot of different kinds of songs in it. So I'm happy about that.
It's very diverse on this album too from you guys.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
This album was recorded in November and early December 2018 at L Studio in San Francisco by Phil Becker, who's worked with Pins of Light and Terry Gross. All you guys and Becker handled the mixing with Carl Saff, lending his mastering. How was working with Phil and plus working with Carl on this?
It was really great. I would be happy to do it again for sure. Phil's a drummer, and so it was great to have like a drummer to work with production wise, and he has been at that studio for a long time, so he really knew how to use the room and all the gear they have on hand. He was really thoughtful about how he pieced all the elements together and how he used the room both for drums and bass. So it's really fun to put all that together and get everything sitting just how we wanted it. And it's like when we started the writing process for this record, I've been getting into recording quite a bit. So I've been building out my own rig. So we've been demoing all the songs. So we had pretty realized versions of all the songs going into the studio. Sorry, that's my dog. They're pretty transparent. So like before we even went in with Phil, we had, like mixed demos of all the songs that we did in our practice space. And so he was able to, kind of see what we were going for and expand on that and add his expertise to what we were trying to do. So it was really fun. It was really fun to work with him and figure all that stuff out and figure out what we could do to make it as good as we possibly could.
That dog was telling somebody, get off my lawn, get off my lawn.
Oh, it's their pleasure in life. It's all they do all day. They sit on the porch and wait.
Yeah.
Wait. And then when it finally happens, they really go for it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love dogs, I swear.
Yeah. They're the best.
Working with Phil on this, though, did he get something out of you guys that maybe was, I don't know, not missing, but did he push you guys hard on this?
I think we pushed ourselves pretty hard. Like, we really wanted to make this one. Obviously, we try to make every record as good as we possibly can, but like we really like fleshed out the songs and made them as good as we possibly could before we got into the studio, so that when we were there, we drilled them as much as possible so that we could get the best performances we possibly could. So he wasn't really a drill sergeant or anything like that, but it was great to have a third set of ears to, be kind of objective about everything, where, he's like, oh, that could be a little bit better, or like, especially on the drums and the timing and everything. He's definitely a stickler and definitely made us get it right. So, but after, I think it's really essential sometimes to have that objective third set of ears after we've like played these songs so many times and you're just so inside of them that it's hard to see them from the outside and how they're coming across on the outside. So he had some really good suggestions in there and made us, make sure it was right. And yeah, that's it. It was just comforting to have an outside perspective.
Who did the cover art for the album?
That's Jared Warren.
Nice.
She did the last one too.
That's good. You got an artist in the camp, man.
Oh yeah.
Or somebody that could draw, I should say, other than my stick figures.
He's really good. The last one was really great. He really, I thought he kind of outdid himself on this one. I really liked it.
What do you hope everyone takes away from this new album, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of your guys' music in general? What do you hope that they take away from Big Business's music?
I think our hope is just that people take our band for what it is and I guess appreciate it or not on its own merits and not trying to, we've spent a lot of time figuring out that we don't really fit into any other genre or group of bands. Like we have certain elements that go with, you know, these genres, but it never really quite clicks. So I hope we've stuck around long enough and we've put across what we do strong enough that people can appreciate us for who we are, I guess, and like the band for what it is and not for what it's not, because it doesn't fit into, like, we're not metal or we're not doom or we're not this enough. It's just we're just us. So I hope that comes across in the end. That's my hope.
So speaking of that, do you feel that Big Business is a band that doesn't really fit into what everyone else is doing right now musically, possibly?
I think there's a lot of bands that we can play with and that it works together and everything like that. But I do feel like we don't necessarily fit into, like, whatever the contemporary metal genre is, or like stoner rock, or people call us sludge all the time. It's like, I don't see us fitting into that, any of those pigeonholes really. Mm-hmm. So that's, I don't know. It's something that's taken us a while to figure out, but I'm kind of glad that that's how it is now, you know?
Does that bother you guys that you guys are still getting put into that stoner rock category?
I see why people do it. I think it's a little bit lazy, but I also can't expect everyone to care that much about what we do. Like, or I don't expect everyone to put our record under a magnifying glass and really, really think about it. You know, I just hope that, like, when they hear it, it connects somehow and, like, takes you somewhere. But I don't know. It's annoying sometimes to read stuff like that, because I just feel like they're not thinking that hard about it, or it's just kind of a lazy leap to make. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me like it used to.
Do you see this band still musically growing from where it started, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you involved in this? I think both. I think we've both definitely, like, grown as people, and our lives are very, very different than they were when we first started this band. And I don't know, we've never stopped trying to do better and trying to push ourselves to do something different on each, next record. So I mean, it hasn't stopped yet, so I'll let you know when it does, I guess. No,
we'll see.
Don't let me know.
We'll see if we have any.
Over.
We'll see if we still have some ideas for the next one. You know.
Don't let me know, because then it's over. Damn it.
Yeah, it's over. No, I don't know. Hopefully, we're self-aware enough to know when that point comes, and not 2 years after the fact. You know.
Do you like to do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open, to not get bored, to not let the music get stale? Do you do anything that helps you? I mean, I know these are two different identities, but is there anything that helps you?
Yeah, like I said before, I feel like on this last record, we're demoing all the songs, so we have a pretty good recording set up in our practice space, where we can record stuff quickly and it sounds good. So we have, like, an idea of how it's going to sound when it's finished. You know what I mean? So it kind of allows us to lay something down and move on to a new idea and still be able to, like, think about that one without just trying to get to the finished product all at once. You know, you play something over and over and over again. Sometimes you can just, like, choke the life out of it, and you get inside of it so hard. It's, like I said, it's hard to see it from the outside and how it's actually coming across to a person who's listening to it for the first time. So it's nice to be able to, like, lay something down and think about it and put it away for a second, move on to the next idea, lay that down, and then kind of circle back to that one and listen to it with fresh ears again. And it seems like doing that kind of leapfrogging sped everything up for us in the writing process. And we still able to be excited about stuff and have a lot of ideas kind of cooking at the same time without just focusing on one song and just, obsessing on that one thing till it's finished.
What can fans expect at a show from the mighty Big Business when they come out to see you guys? What are they going to get?
Two dudes. It's gonna be loud, and we're gonna play our songs. I don't know. We try to, every show is a little bit different, and we always try to leave some spaces in between songs and in the set in general for some improvisation, just to keep it fresh. And so it's like every show is a very alive version of all our songs.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and now we have social media to reach out to more people to hear a Big Business. Do you like this that we're living in now, plus where we got social media to reach out to more folks to get the word out about you guys now?
Sure, it's great. I don't have a choice. That's the way things are now. There's a trade-off. Like, it's great that there is that accessibility to people, like no middleman. But at the same time, there's so much noise going on at the same time that it seems like making an impact is also a challenge, you know? So it's got its own set of drawbacks, but it has advantages too. So we're just trying to find our space in there somewhere.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Coady, that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there, if anything?
I don't know. It's kind of a lot of things. Like I had my uncle, my mom's younger brother, was a firefighter, and he was a drummer, and he had one of my earliest memories is him sitting me down behind his Blue Sparkle Ludwig kit that he had up in his attic. And I thought that was so cool. That made a big impression on me. And also just like listening to tapes he also gave me a Walkman when I was a kid. So it was like my first real, I was like 5 years old, and it was definitely like, I knew that it wasn't a toy, you know?
Yeah.
It was an expensive like thing that was special. So just like listening to like my stepdad's tape collection and like checking out all the art, like the first thing I remember really making a big dent in my brain was Kiss Alive 2.
Oh, nice.
And how like scary Gene Simmons looked and like the, you know, all the live shots and blood and explosions and stuff like that. And it was just like, I didn't know what to make of it, but I just knew that it was like totally fascinating to me. And I didn't know what it was. And it was, I think that was a spark right there. So I knew I wanted to do it for a long time. And you know, going to, you know, middle school and high school, and you try to figure out, you know, who you are and making an identity for yourself and checking out all different kinds of music. It was a lot of weird different ideas that would happen. Like I used to be in like Motley Crue and like hard, you know, like Quiet Riot and Motley Crue and AC/DC and Aerosmith. I liked all those bands, Judas Priest. And then, you know, I was living in the Northwest at the time. So I think I was a freshman in high school the first time I heard Nirvana's Bleach.
Oh, nice.
And that kind of like took me in a whole new direction, you know. That like took me to the Melvins. That took me to all these other bands, and was able to like drive down to Seattle on weekends to go to all ages shows and see, you know, tons and tons of bands that were both great and terrible. But it was, I think that was probably the point where I was like, this is definitely what I want to do.
And you mentioned 3 bands that's actually getting ready to retire, and it's hard to even put into words that they're just now retiring. Kiss, and you talk about Motley Crue, they've already retired as far as Motley Crue. And then you got AC/DC, as I'm hearing this new AC/DC album that's coming out. It's a tribute to Malcolm, and this is their last album. So we shall see.
All right.
You know,
Malcolm was a big part of that band for sure. I mean, I think listening to, I learned how to play drums listening to AC/DC, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that AC/DC and Aerosmith, like I think I had Back in Black and like Aerosmith's greatest hits, and I had a boombox, and I would listen to those tapes over and over again. And you know, the beats were simple enough and hard hitting enough that I could follow along. I could figure out, you know, which drum made which sound. And like, definitely like that's taught me how to like keep time and play along with, you know, music. It was great.
So what's your uncle say now about you being a drummer now?
Well, he's been passed away for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
15. No, that's okay. He passed away while I was on tour with Murder City Devils years and years ago.
Okay.
So he did get to. I don't think he ever saw me play live, but he did get the first record that the Murder City Devils put out, and my aunt after the fact later told me that he said that he couldn't believe how good of a drummer I turned out to be, and she said that he was super proud that I was doing that. So that made me feel great.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he is, man. I mean, look, he introduced you to music, of course. I mean, I would say more likely he's 1,000% happy for you and proud of you, for sure.
Thanks, man. I hope so.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that big business gets support from, or your music even gets played in, Coady?
I mean, yeah, like people, you know, it's all over Europe. I don't know, like, I guess it's weird that it can go anywhere now, right? Like just digitally, like it goes all over the world. But we played in Tel Aviv, Israel once, and that was very, very crazy. And I never thought I'd be there.
For sure, yeah.
And having seen people like connect with our music in such a, I mean, I think Japan and that place were the most like exotic places I've ever been in terms of culturally how different it is from, you know, what I'm used to. So that was really special and cool. Yeah, Israel.
You know, it's like I had an interview just a minute ago, and I had a conversation with Luke from the band Druids. He was talking about getting support from over in like you said, like Israel and places like that. And he's like, I don't understand how they can understand our music with English lyrics, and then when we go there to play, they're singing it back in our language. How do they?
Yeah.
How does this happen? And then they can't really talk to us, but they can sure do or sing our songs with us back.
Yeah, and they're still connecting with it somehow. It's incredible. Like it's such a trip to think about that. And I it's amazing to me. I don't think I can fully like wrap my head around it, you know?
For sure. Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree with that one. Looks like Big Business is going to start a tour over in Sweden. Let's give us a little bit of rundown on that if you don't care.
Oh, we're about to do a U.S. tour with the band Sleep, which is very exciting for us. We like them a lot. And we did just play a show with them on New Year's Eve in San Francisco, and it was awesome. So I'm looking forward to several weeks of that. It should be really fun. So that's coming. That is in June and July.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up a Big Business, their new 6th full-length album entitled The Beast You Are. Get out and pick up this album. Coady, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, tour dates, things like that. How can they do that, my friend?
We got a Facebook page. It's really easy to find. We have a Bandcamp page. It's really easy to find. And we're on Instagram at Big Biz.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure. Hey, this is Coady Willis from Big Business, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Yeah.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link plus our YouTube link, and hopefully soon a Twitch link, and we got some more great stuff coming up for you guys as well and stored. And also get out and check out Big Business. You guys will dig this stuff. Coady, best of luck to you guys, and anytime you want back on here, you're more than welcome to, sir.
Thanks, man. I hope to see you soon.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.